How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome back to another show of Boys in the Zone. This podcast is brought to you by the Grid Network. As always, thank you for tuning in. We've got a lot of Cowboys football to talk about, some camp battles, some wide receivers popping off, the cornerback group looking great, the linebackers impressing as always, some positives on Mazi Smith as well, and a whole host of other things. But man, it is exciting to finally get back to watching actual Cowboys football this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I believe is when it's set for. But the first preseason game, it's going to be fun. Really looking forward to that. Let's jump over straight into this Cowboys official depth chart. Now, what's interesting here is it starts on the defensive end with your rookie out of Notre Dame, Maurice Liufau, as a starter on the official depth chart. Now, obviously, he is going to see some preseason action, whereas most of those guys you're seeing on the current starter depth chart probably aren't. Which is interesting, and he's starting over Demarvion Overshone, over Damian Wilson, Willie Harvey, some of those guys, and I think that that's really exciting to see, especially just because, well, I mean, Demo, he's rehabbing from the ACL, of course, but man, just to see your rookies on there starting is going to be fun, and he's really the only rookie that's up there that is labeled as a starter. Tyler Guyton's not labeled as a starter currently. Cooper Beebe, of course, hasn't won that job in camp even. So, really excited to see that. And then you see Kalen Carson right there as that. They're using him, according to the depth chart, as more of an outside guy, which is exciting. A lot of people want to see him versus Jordan Lewis as, who's going to win that cornerback 3 spot. But I think it's Jay Lou. He's had an amazing camp thus far. But yeah, man, exciting. Let's pop that off of the screen and we'll bring up all of the clips, the wonderful clips. Um, let's start with these Dak clips because I think that it needs to be shown how good Dak is. And actually, let me make sure that this is mute screen audio. There we go. All right. And this is to Jalen Cropper right there. He's really seriously impressed during training camp today and a couple other days. He's strung together some nice plays. This one from Dak again to Jalen Cropper for the touchdown over the middle. Let's continue on. I want to talk about a specific. I think this is that same one we just watched. Yeah. Okay, this is something that I wanted to bring up. So Hendershot, of course, got injured in last year, and he wasn't able to show what he had. He's had some dropsy problems throughout his entire career, really, but it's showing up more and more. And at this point, I don't know that he's going to make the team. I think that it's possibly a hot take, depending on who you ask, but this stuff cannot happen. Perfect pass, seam ball from Dak Prescott into three people right there. And I mean, straight in your hands, you can't have that. That's the exact reason why Dak had an interception 2 years ago because of this exact thing. And I think it was against the Colts. So yeah, just can't have that. From a Hendershot, closed the show and jumped over to watch your show. What's up, Boys in the Zone? Tuesday night lineup, of course. Glad to see you guys in here. And I watched a lot of your show too, and I had to jump in the shower before my show, so I didn't get to catch it all. But I'll definitely go back and check the rest out. Jalen Cropper. This is another Jalen Cropper one right here over the middle. I think that it's pretty evident that right now Jalen Cropper is getting to that point where he's looking like he's going to make the roster. Depending on how many wide receivers you keep, I think 5 or 6 is, those kind of tabbed as the numbers, and probably leaning more towards 6. If you do go 6, Cropper is going to be very hard to keep off of the 53, and man, he's making a name for himself right here in training camp. So if he doesn't, in fact, make the roster, it's going to be very hard to get him back on the practice squad with how well he's looked. If he continues that into the preseason, it's just going to be, um, yeah, it's just going to continue. So, I don't know why the rest of my DAC clips aren't loading. Okay, well, that that sucks. Maybe. Um, on the fly, that sucks. Let's look at newly acquired cornerback. Um, Keon, I think his name is Keon. Let me pull this back. Keemon Hall, and this is from Nick Harris as well, and gets the PBU, but then comes up with the interception off the deflection right there. He's made some plays thus far, and he was formerly of the 49ers. He's he's playing some good ball as well, and so this cornerback group as a whole is really um, they're I won't say that they're surprising, but the depth pieces are surprising to me. But they're really honing in on the teachings of Al Harris, and I think that's evident with what we've seen out here. This is the other interception. Oh no, sorry. This is the interception by Jordan Lewis, which he has had an outstanding training camp thus far. Look at him jump on this ball from Dak. Dak tries to laser it in here, and Jordan Lewis just crosses his face and just gets that wonderful interception, diving interception. Um, just he has been a maniac. He's hearing all the outside noise about Kalen Carson possibly being better than him or starting over him. I don't see it. I mean, J. Lou has really been that guy. Pop some comments here. Vince P says, "What's up, EJ?" My guy, "What's up, Vince?" And EJ, Jeff Hollis, "What's up, guys?" Glad you could tune in and make it. Make sure you hit that like button as well, guys. This is another pass breakup by Jordan Lewis, and it looks like he's down here on the screen. You'll see it. He comes and then he crosses face, almost gets another interception right there. That is just exceptional awareness and an understanding of your zone. Whenever he drops on that, he lets the coverage carry this way. And here, we'll just run it back. You see, he gets back into his, gives that cushion to the corner, then comes back up, puts some hands on him, and then sees that play developing. He has that understanding of the zone, and then he goes up there and tries to click and close on that ball. And I mean, that would have been a pick six if he would have took that. So yeah, I think that it's very evident that Jordan Lewis is your cornerback three. But Kalen Carson, as you'll see a little bit down here later, he has had some impressive plays as well. Here's another one with Jordan Lewis. I mean, he's just an absolute demon out here at training camp. You'll see him. He's right here, I believe. Oh, wait, this might be. Nope, that's Donovan Wilson. So, yeah, here he is right here. You can see cross his face on Turpin, hits that down. I think they unfortunately called this a defensive holding. I thought it was a clean play by Jordan Lewis, but you can just see how honed in he is on the quarterback and understanding his zones and his assignments. So you can see he pulls Turpin, he understands, gets his head back around, and bats that ball down. That's just perfectly executed by Jordan Lewis. And man, Jordan Lewis was playing some really, really good ball by the end of the year last year. I'm excited for him. Just getting back into the swing of things, man. This is the second interception by Keemon Hall. You can see Dak rolls out. Oh, that's not Dak. That's Trey Lance right there, trying to fit it in there. Yeah, so I mean, these guys they're just playing good. Let's jump into some of these D line clips and the O line. Here's Osa Odigizua right here. You'll just see him. He's working against Brock Hoffman, I believe, and you'll see he just crosses face instantly and to get the quarterback. Nice pressure. Yeah, I think that I really am starting to get excited about Osa and Mazi a little bit. Mazi has some deficiencies still. He's very inconsistent, but you can see right here he beats I don't Yeah, that was Hoffman, I believe, right there. But you can see how quickly he jumps inside and gets that pressure right there. He's been looking good in the one-on-one stuff, and especially on those 5-on-5 offensive line drills and whatnot. Um, the team stuff he has been inconsistent with, but it's one of those things he's learning. He's definitely getting an earful from his new D line coach. That's for certain. Here's Cooper Beebe against Mazi. Or no, that's not Mazi. That's Carl Davis, I believe. Yeah, so Cooper Beebe, the snaps aren't good enough yet still. We've been kind of monitoring that, but you know, he's he has all the play strength. He has what you need to see. Um, but I don't know why all of my clips are gone. This kind of sucks, but yeah, I don't know why. That's all right. I want to search up the Kalen Carson one. Let's search this up and see if we can find it. No, it's just gonna pull up Carson Wentz stuff. Well, regardless, we'll see. What up, Cowboys Nation? Says Cowboys Cave. What's up, Mike or Kelly? Whichever one that is. Jeff Hollis, Knuckles. Yeah. So let me pull this down for a second. Yeah. So overall, and I don't know what really happened to my clips, not being in my bookmarks, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Kalen Carson has looked exceptionally well as well, and he's feisty. He seems like he's meshing well with Al Harris and what he's trying to teach him. He's trusting his technique as well, and I'm glad that they kept him as an outside corner and not just trying to see if they can get all three of their best guys on the field, because I truthfully, out of all of the DBs on the fields thus far in training camp, Jordan Lewis has been the best. Followed up right there with Deron Bland, and he's gotten his hands on a lot of balls as well. And if my clips would have been there, you would have saw tons of stuff from Deron Bland as well. But um, regardless, this DB core as a whole has looked exceptionally well. Um, Not only in just their execution of Mike Zimmer's scheme, because that's kind of a harder scheme to master in general, but just zone as a whole. Whenever they drop in a zone, which you know from last year, and especially during that Green Bay game, the zone was not um, the Cowboys' kind of forte per se. But when they've dropped back into zone during training camp, they have looked very good, and I am I'm surprised at how quickly that has come to fruition, honestly, because like I said, Mike Zimmer's defense isn't easy to pick up, but it's something the Cowboys just haven't done a whole lot of during the Dan Quinn years. So I'm really excited to just see um, the more disguises Zimmer adds in there, and the more of, and I want to say that I had a bookmark of, um, let me scroll down. I I wanted to I didn't, dang it. I think that J Tuck actually posted this, so I could probably search it up pretty quick. Let me pull it down. Um, let's see. Um, let's. Dang, we got to go down a little bit. Um, Michael Parsons, another sack. Yes, right here. Let's pull this play up really quickly. Alrighty. You can see it looks like Jordan Lewis is sinking down here to go off the edge and Dak sees it instantly. And then watch this. He drops back into coverage, and Micah gets sent as from the linebacker spot. He's up here playing middle, and it looks like he's going to drop back in coverage to fill for the void that Jordan Lewis is going to leave on this slot. But then they switch right at the snap, and Micah comes screaming off the edge, and Lewis probably takes away Dak's hot right there. So I this stuff is so exciting for me to see because of what is. Um, I won't say that Dan Quinn was too vanilla in his schemes. I do think that he relied a little bit too much on stunts in the past, but this stuff makes the quarterback think, okay, just because I see it at the line doesn't mean it's going to be the same after the snap. And I mean, just look how beautiful this is. I'm going to play this one more time just because of how, I mean, just I love the disguising of this whole entire play right here. So, like I said, Lewis down here, and just watch Lewis and Micah on this play. Dak even sees it right there, and he's telling him, hey, the corner's coming. Boom. Micah, I mean, good God. Micah is fast as hell. Screams off the edge, probably gets a sack if that's a real game. And man, that's the type of stuff that is impactful during a game, because all it takes is one play, and that could be a play where Dak thinks that the corner is going to be there, so he just stares down his hot and lets it loose, or doesn't expect that the linebacker comes down off the edge and doesn't see that. That's a sack, a possible forced fumble. Just the little things like that goes such a far way in what I truly think this defense can be. And with that, I do want to talk about this defense in general. I think really the only weak spot is that interior defensive tackle. And you know, I like I like Mazi. I want to see him succeed. He's not consistent enough just yet, but man, he's getting there. I think that this new coach that we have in there, Coach Gunther, is really pushing Mazi Smith. He was calling him Mickey Mouse the other day. He was saying like, you know, excuse me, Disney World or Disneyland. I don't know which one's in California. He's like a couple hours down the way. You know, if you don't want to grind, go there. Which is I really believe that he needs. I think that he needs somebody in his corner that is willing to push him, but still being able to say, "All right, that's better, that's good," and give him that positive feedback as well, which he was during that drill. And I had that clip. I don't know why the hell all of my clips got deleted, but um, regardless, and I probably could search up. Nick Harris had a lot of them, so shout out Nick Harris. Let me search up. I know that he has. Let me just go straight to the media side. Oh, I don't like how this looks necessarily. That was another great play by Jordan Lewis right there as well on the pass breakup. Just, I mean, that dude has his hands on everything out there. He is absolutely killing it. See what this play is right here. Oh, back to Jalen Cropper. See what this is. Trey Lance dropping back, rolls out, throws this. That's the interception we saw earlier. Man, I really wanted these. See what Dak is doing right there. That was a great grab by. I think it's incomplete based on what the ref says, but great grab by Jalen Tolbert. Yeah, Tolbert, Jalen Cropper, both of those guys are looking to be bigger roles, have bigger roles on this team this year. And I'm excited for the wide receiver group. I'm excited for the corner group, and getting back to the entire defense as a whole. I think this might be the year, Cowboys fans, where we actually see Michael Parsons go off for 15 to 20 sacks. I just think that the disguising and the understanding of dropping Micah back into that linebacker spot and using him as a blitzer instead of just a hey, line up on the edge and just rush the passer every single down is going to go such a long way for Micah's development and just getting free off the edge. I like what I'm seeing from Nealon. I like what I'm seeing from Osa Odigizua. He's just an absolute monster in there inside. I think that with the starting guys around Mazi, I think Mazi's going to have that, you know, um, chance to not have to face the double teams, and I think that's critical for this kind of stage in his career because he's not big enough and strong enough and consistent enough just yet to truthfully get in there and be a difference maker at defensive tackle. So if we can, of course, this is an if we can get him to that point where later on it is our core players like the Mazi or like the Micahs and the Nealons later on in the future, because you probably won't have enough money to retain Osa Odigizua and Demarcus Lawrence. If you can get those guys where they're stronger and a more cohesive unit moving forward, especially with Nealon's uh, being in the fold. And, you know, you also have Sam Williams next year as well coming back. But I think that's going to be critical. I feel like I'm saying I think a lot, but um, Mike Zimmer, man, I'm just telling you guys, it might be a couple weeks before we truly see how much of a difference he's going to be versus DQ. But man, the sky's the limits as far as that goes. I did want to talk about these running backs a little bit, and I'm sorry I don't have the clips. It's I don't know why they had to do me like that, but regardless, um, the running backs, it looks to be like Zeke and Rico are pretty much locks. They were using Hunter Lipke a lot during training camp today in those 4th and 1s and those goal line reps. So I almost think that he's a lock because I think that whenever we acquired Zeke or reacquired Zeke, should I say, we kind of thought he was the short yardage back, but it seems as if they're going to lean more towards Hunter Lipke just based on what this is, or maybe they're just ramping him up for the preseason. Who knows? Um, Regardless, I believe that those are your three guys, and then the fourth spot, and you know it's anybody's game, but I think it's going to be Deuce Vaughn just because of his ability to um, read the field and read blockers in front of him with the new kickoff rules. They're also kind of cross training Turpin and Deuce Vaughn at the very same time with respects of Vaughn doing some wide receiver stuff, Turpin doing some running back stuff, which I think is smart. Um, Helping those guys move along. But yeah, the running back by committee, it doesn't seem like it's more an entire committee. I feel like it's more just Rico and Zeke and mixes of Hunter Lipke. Uh, I think that and that could be shaken up by the preseason game this Sunday, but looks to be Rico as your RB1 or Zeke. And who knows? Jerry Jones loves Zeke, but I really do hope it's hope it's Rico. My bad. Cooper Beebe. Cooper Beebe is still having the trouble snapping the ball consistently. Still having trouble. I won't say trouble blocking, but whenever he has a guy in front of his face on his nose, um, it seems as if he is he's aware of it. He seems to sail the balls wide or above the quarterback's head whenever somebody's lined up above him. When he isn't, he's not really worried. He's calm and he does well snapping. So I think it's more of he just doesn't know the timing yet of how to snap the ball and get up in his set and really be powerful yet. And I think that that's going to come. It just hasn't yet. That's why you haven't seen him overtake Hoffman as that number one center. Um, Jeff is saying anything about Jalen Brooks? Yeah, so Jalen Brooks has looked pretty good as well. I think that all of the Jalen's, whether it's Tolbert or Brooks or Cropper, all of those guys have looked very good, and they're all fighting for a spot. I was interested to see if Flournoy was going to do anything, as he has kind of gotten back into the fold after being injured for some time. But it seems like Cropper is going to be your guy. Jalen Brooks, I really do think that he's it. Well, let's just say, so CD, you got as your one, Cooks, then you've got Tolbert as your pretty much locks for the team. And I think that with the new kickoff rules, Turpin is a lock. So then you have those other two spots. I think it's going to be Jalen Brooks and Cropper, but they did spend some draft capital on Flournoy, and Jalen Brooks and Flournoy are kind of built in that, cut from that same cloth. Brooks has been better though. He has more um, familiarity with Dak and how he wants routes ran. Um, I think he's a pretty good red zone receiver as far as the practices go. Um, but yeah, it seems very evident right now that the top three guys at camp are Cropper, Cooks, and Cooks has been a demon in the middle of the field and on the long ball. It seems like they're kind of trying to get that back into the playbook with Brandon Cooks going, on those deep goes and post routes. Um, but the middle of the field is his money his money spots right now. But yeah, Brooks, he's doing good. He's not really separating himself as wide as I would like from some of the other guys like Durden or Flournoy, um, but solid for sure, for sure. Um, let's see what else. Hoffman. I did want to talk about Hoffman, and I had some clips and I wanted to show them, but Twitter did me dirty. I don't know. Let me reload my Twitter actually and see if I can maybe get these things to load up. That would be amazing if they did, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know why so many of these things deleted. Regardless, I'll pull back in here. Hoffman has, I won't say have troubles. Well, I will. I He's been inconsistent as well. I don't want to just completely, throw shade on Cooper Beebe because of the snap thing. Hoffman has had some trouble with dealing with power thus far, and getting beat on, just simple, rip and swims, stuff like that, which doesn't um, completely give me confidence in him moving forward. I do see a lot of communication from Hoffman. He's definitely a veteran center as he played that position in college, so he knows what to do. Just calling out blocking, and calling out what the linebackers are doing and what he thinks that they're going to do. I like that aspect, but Micah has gotten him numerous times during camp. Mazi's beaten him a couple times. The young D tackle that we drafted this year, he has beaten him. Osa Odigizua has beaten him. Um, i- it's and it's not like they're beating him every single time. Micah is, but the other guys not as much. Regardless, I think this center position is one of the ones where I'm a little hesitant on, and whether it's Beebe or Hoffman, we're going to see how well they look in the preseason game one. But I would not be surprised if they are willing to test out a TJ Bass, if both of those guys look a little suspect in that first preseason game. Um, or maybe they go outside the building. Who knows? I think that they right now they really want Hoffman to win the job just because he's kind of their guy, and we've seen this happen in years past with a Terrence Steele, which has looked a lot better. While I'm on the offensive line subject, a lot better this year than last, as he has kind of come back from his ACL tear as well. Um, but yeah, this offensive line has the potential to be a better run blocking group than they were last year, but a slightly worse pass protecting group. And that is incredibly hinging upon what you get from Tyler Guyton. And he's been sick for the few days. I think he's missed 3 days, but he played today. Um, Either way, I think that it's incredibly evident that this offensive line success is based upon Tyler Guyton and how he really does um, in that at that left tackle position. So yeah, I think that really not a lot of people are talking about this, but I personally like Mike McCarthy and how he runs these practices with the mojo moments, with setting up so many competitive drills against units. Um, I think that it breeds championship football. Now, obviously, we haven't even sniffed a championship, but I really think that he's more willing to understand, okay, this is a problem zone. let's shift into this area and try to figure things out, how to get better. And I think that um, with that, it's gonna carry on into the season, and we're not gonna see these kind of um, festering problems. And he did a little bit of this last year with the red zone struggles early on in the season, and he fixed that by the time it was the end of the season. But I think that he's not going to be, and maybe it's just the fact that he's on a 1 year deal. But I don't think that he's gonna sit here and, hold the Cowboys organization or fan base or anybody like that hostage when it comes to Zeke if he's not performing. And Rico is clearly the better guy. I believe that he's going to make a conservative effort to put in Rico or go outside the building and get a better running back. Um, I don't think that the same can be um, said about Dan Quinn whenever he was here, and he kind of got a little bit too um, too caught up in playing his guys a little bit when especially whenever we had called for other guys to be on the field in the past. Think Anthony Brown, and you know, not to rehash Anthony Brown, but um, yeah. Let me pull up. I really do want to pull up this one clip really quick, and let me pull this up. I can't. I wanted to say it was Calvin Watkins that posted this. I don't want to go to the media. Cropper, Turpin versus Lewis. Okay, it was not him. Who was it? Gosh. Let me see. Nick. Let me go to this and see if I can just scroll down and try to find this really quick. Cooper Beebe. No. First team offense. Yeah, here's another thing that was bring this tweet up. Um, Pretty evident. First team offense growing more comfortable with the disguised linebackers as camp goes on. Dax attacks with a quick pass to Turpin. Um, Jalen Brooks after practice was talking about Zimmer's defense, and he said the disguise is insane. It's insane. I got to give Mike Zimmer full credit for that. It's really good. And mind you, Brooks was on the team last year, so he had seen Dan Quinn's defense and is fully aware of how much different Mike Zimmer's defense looks um, than what Dan's does. I really wanted to find this Mazi play, but yeah, it's fine. Regardless, um, honestly, the not having the clips kind of messed up a lot of this, but um, with that, guys, I appreciate you tuning into the show. I'm gonna call it short tonight just because of the fact of I had all those clips saved up, but now they're gone. Um, so I appreciate you tuning into the show. If you're still here, leave a like and a comment on the show. Make sure you share it, share the channel, hit the subscribe if you're not, hit that notification bell as well, and we'll catch me next. Or you can catch me next week on, or actually, I think that I'm doing a preseason game stream. Maybe I don't know if it's gonna be the full game. I don't know, but should be some fun. And so that's gonna be Sunday next week on Tuesday. Hopefully, I can figure out how the hell to get the clips of to save more than 5 because for whatever reason they were only saving 5 on the bookmarks. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's so weird to me. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you next week. Peace.